What's up, gamers? Dreamcast guy here, talking today about the Activision Blizzard deal. Microsoft is in the middle of currently a very weird case in the American government. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, is trying to block Xbox from buying the company that publishes World of Warcraft and Call of Duty and Diablo 4. And in their defense, Microsoft is starting to say some very crazy stuff, including things like they're saying none of their games sell. They're saying that Redfall sold like 6 copies. They're constantly saying that they're not really profitable. It's more just about the nature of games. And Microsoft is even going so far as to say Xbox has officially lost the console war. Now, inside a lot of this, I think are half truths. Microsoft is lying a little bit, and I think we should actually expect that because in this case, what the Federal Trade Commission, the American government, is trying to do is they're trying to say, hey, if we give you this $70 billion deal, it's not going to break the industry, right? It's not going to completely corrupt any fair competition, right? So Microsoft has to appear as clean cut, as calm, as chill, as innocent as possible. So they're going to say stuff that's not exactly crystal clear. I still think that some of the things they said are absolutely insane. Yesterday was a hell of a day, one of my worst days ever. Actually, I was flying up here to Pennsylvania to do a convention and hang out with some friends. My plane got flat tires, which I didn't know could happen, so that delayed my flight several hours. Just a long, boring day. You can see I'm sitting in a hotel. I'll be honest, I don't know what town I'm in. So while I was doing all that transit, I was actually sitting there just constantly reading all this FTC court case stuff and the internet kind of squabbling about it. And I think the statement people seem to be the most interested in is the entirety of Microsoft saying, we have permanently lost the console war. Because Xbox themselves doesn't say this like an insult. They actually talked raw numbers and said they sold like 16% of all the consoles in the world in 2021 were Xbox, which is so crazy. It means PlayStation and Nintendo were 84% of the market share, and they were this itty bitty 16%. But Microsoft pitches this as a positive to the consumers. And I actually find this fascinating that they're actually talking about their secret business plans. They said the overall goal is to subsidize the games. There's this thing that governments do where they'll basically pay you to make something even if it's less profitable because it's good for the industry. Like, it's a well-known fact. Planes, very expensive to upkeep. Plane companies actually don't really make money. The government pays them to keep the planes flying. Same with food. Some food isn't very profitable, but the government pays them to keep, make it so your burgers are cheap as hell at McDonald's. Well, it sounds like Microsoft, by their own admission, this is their goal with Game Pass, is they're like, okay, individual games up front don't make anything. Starfield's probably not going to be profitable right at the start. Forza's not going to make piles of cash right away. Halo Infinite's probably still really deep in the red. But Microsoft's plan is that in the long run, it'll make it where they have more industry value. They have more actual money in the bank because instead of selling $170 game and selling 3 million copies of it, instead they're trying to get 30 million people to pay $10 a month for it. And they're pretty clear that thus far, this hasn't been profitable. And again, I'm not saying this is an insult. I think I'm fascinated because it's Xbox admitting that they're not trying to be Sony. They're not trying to be Nintendo. They're not trying to be Valve. They're trying to be Amazon. They're trying to be Netflix. They're trying to be the company that isn't making buku bucks up front. They're making it on the back end. And I guess hearing it makes more sense because Microsoft, first and foremost, is a software company. They made their trillions, yes, literally trillions of dollars, selling Windows, selling PC components and stuff like that. So them trying to do that in the gaming business, I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense. a lot of this FTC stuff, I can't actually edit this video. I hope this actually comes out well. Be sure to like it and subscribe because I have no idea how this is going to come out. I'm not sure if I can even upload this from my phone, but we're going to find out. Some of the stuff being said in this case, I've been reading it because it's a train wreck, to be quite honest with you. They're asking questions like, if we give you guys Call of Duty and you make a bunch of exclusive skins on Xbox, won't that make people sell their PlayStations? The American government asked that question to high up executives at Xbox. Now keep in mind, PlayStation has been paying for exclusive skin rights on their console for, I think, 10 years. I'm sure somebody in the comment section can point this out. Sony has been paying for exclusive content in their games from every third-party publisher for the last decade and a half at least. And it's definitely been advantageous, but the American government thinks that this would instantly cause people to jump from one $500 console to a different $500 console, which is just so bafflingly inept. Like, it sounds like the FTC, I don't want to insult them too much because, I mean, obviously they're lawyers and professionals. They don't know really anything that's going on. They brought in Sarah Bond, one of the highest people at Xbox Game Studios, and they were asking her about what is a AAA game? Can you explain downloadable content? Things that I feel like should have been covered before you had a chance to actually get these important asses into seats. It's so bizarre to me because even Sony is sort of admitting during this case, there's been some emails and stuff they read in court where Jim Ryan, the head of PlayStation, said he's not really even worried about these games going exclusive to Xbox. Jim Ryan, in emails that are read in court, this is now a public document, it's interesting, Jim Ryan is being like, yeah, I don't think they're going to make Call of Duty exclusive. Yeah, I don't think they're going to put on Game Pass and that'll be good for them, but it's not going to hurt us too bad. It's weird that after all this posturing, after all these lies, after all this like public gallivanting, both Sony and Microsoft are kind of having to just goofball it a bit. They're kind of having to like upplay and downplay their own importance and threat levels. It's a very, very odd circumstance. To be quite frank, after reading a bunch of these opening testimonies and the tone of the FTC, I think this deal is getting blocked. Personally, as it current stands, obviously only day one happened. Day two starts here today, and even though I'm supposed to be at a convention, I'm going to be there, but I'm not going to be staring at Twitter as everything goes into a giant cluster truck. But I just think that the people holding the big red light, the people saying whether or not this deal can be approved or not, seem to be so ignorant that even if it actually is good for the industry, they don't know it. The FTC, even if Microsoft explained about how every person in the world is going to get a chance to finally try Call of Duty, the FTC is not going to understand it. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. Sorry about the goofy headphones. These are actually the microphone I'm talking to you with. Hopefully this video sounds all right. If this sounds terrible, I'll probably delete this video. I'm not sure if I can even upload this video, but all right, I'm going to get to the convention. If you guys see me at too many games, this is what I'm wearing. Cool. Nice. All right. Love you very much. Have a good day, and keep dreaming.